it's Taylor, and I know this setup is different, but we're in my living room right now, and oh my god. Okay. I wanted to talk about my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I've been loving so much, and I'm gonna go from my um, favorite, like the most current ones that I've been using, to like my throwback, some of my throwbacks that I still love, but I may just haven't reached for them as much as I did when I started my YouTube channel. And I've just been feeling down like a lot recently over the past couple of days, and I personally love doing YouTube. Um, I don't know. I think it's just my depression, anxiety, kind of all. But I'm like, I want to do something happy, and I love doing YouTube. Even though I think I'm honestly sometimes bad at it, but it just kind of helps me kind of get inspired a little bit, and yeah. So let's get started. So for Valentine's Day, I have been, and like for Valentine's Day week, I've been using the Urban Decay Naked 3. I wouldn't think I never thought I would actually buy this palette, but I just became in love. I don't know why recently, but I just became like in love with the shades in this palette. I love creating looks with this palette. My favorite eyeshadows that I use is Nooner is my favorite like crease shade. I've also used Limit. I've mixed Limit and Nooner together. That seems to work pretty well. I really love Factory. Even though it's a shimmer color, I love using it on like the outer part of my crease. I just love that shade so much. I think it's really unique. I also love Burnout. Love Burnout and Buzz mixed together. It really creates a beautiful eyelid color, if that makes any sense. This is a great like romantic palette, I guess. And I've been using I've used, what else? There's a what the heck? I should have brought out those palettes for the dupe for this that I have. I forget what the heck the dupe is, but I'm sure you can just Google YouTube, like either Google search or YouTube search. You'll find dupes of the palette. You'll find different dupes of this palette. The one I have, Makeup Revolution, the iconic palettes, that's what it is. They have like the dupes for all the Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes in these. I honestly, though, I just think they're chalky, and I just wanted a creamier formula, so I ended up getting the Naked 3 for that reason. I don't know if I'll ever get the original Naked palette, just because there's a lot of shimmers in that eyeshadow palette. I just can't find myself to spend the money for it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know, but I didn't really expect to buy this, but I've been loving it, so I'm glad I have it in my collection. I actually got this around my birthday month. This is the Naked Heat palette that everyone talks about and raves about. I just love this palette so much. I think this is really a gorgeous palette for like fall. I remember when it was really popular for fall. It's still like a good palette. I don't reach for this now as I did with this. I started reaching for this a little bit. My favorite eyeshadows is Scorched, He Devil, Dirty Talk. I like Sauced and Low Blow. Low Blow is a really good like transition colors, but there is a lot. I love this palette just because the mattes in this palette are freaking bomb, are like bomb, I think, in my opinion. I just really like the packaging as well. I just like the plastic packaging of this, and I think Urban Decay did a really good job with this palette, more than the other palettes, really, in my opinion. I love that they have equal, it looks, to me, it's more, there are definitely a little bit more matte shadows than shimmer shadows, but they did a really good job at kind of almost balancing it out, if that makes any sense. Maybe when they come out with if they come out with another palette, and I'm sure they definitely will come out with another like Urban Decay palette like this. I think it would be really cool to see a palette that has balanced mattes and shimmers in a palette. That's just my opinion though. But I do love that there's just a lot more matte shadows in here, and I just love the different looks you can create with this, which is really cool. My favorite travel palette, this is really a Naked theme right here. It's the Naked Basics palette, the original one. I use this every time I travel, when I'm traveling, when I'm going to, like, not to an event, but, like, just somewhere that, like, is different, but you just, this is an all matte palette, and you just can't go wrong with making, like, basic eyeshadow looks. My favorite out of this that I always use is Naked and Faint. Those are, like, the two that I use, like, constantly. I like Foxy, but I wish they're kind of more, like, I don't know, I just wish there wasn't, like, 3 lighter colors, really, and only, like, but I see why they did that, and honestly, black isn't I know a lot of people say black is like a basic staple. I would have been just fine with a deeper brown shade, honestly, but I don't use black. I don't know, it's just my opinion and my taste but I don't usually do a lot of nighttime looks. I don't really go out at night. But this is the palette again. But it's a really compact and sleek looking palette, good for travel. Highly recommend it. Alright, so this is kind of a little bit different, but I've been loving the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour palette. This isn't the eye contour palette, this is the actual, like, contour, actual palette. Now, you're probably thinking why I put it in this video. I don't have a lot of contour palettes that I love, really. I only have, like, a couple, like, this and maybe another one or two. But I just fell in love with this contour palette, and I really like the shade selection in this, and I like the highlights in this. I usually use like these 4 quads right here. I probably won't reach for this shade until like summer hits and when I'm more tanner, but I love mixing and matching the shades and just playing around. This is just a fun palette to play around with your face, and I just love it. It's also good for the eyes. I've actually used the only time I've actually used the darker shade was for like eyeshadow as well, for a crease color, but anyways, I love it. I got this really for inexpensive at Marshall's, I think it was. And this isn't the cream, this is like the powder, but I really like it nonetheless. I'm sure this isn't gonna surprise some of you, but I just had to mention this really quickly again, the Royals palette. I loved these shades. This is basically the dupe of the Modern Renaissance palette, if you guys don't know. I really love Regal and Majestic, Honor, Rain. I love the darker colors. I honestly like I really love the purpley shades in this palette. I'm not a huge fan of some of the lighter shades. I just don't reach for them. I don't know why. But when I look at this palette, I always want to use like a look with the darker colors in this palette. But this is just, whoo! Oh. Alright, I got some eyeshadow on my leggings. That's great. That'll be a stain there for a while until I wash them. But this is just a great palette, and I just wanted to mention it again. And, you can find this on Hush. That's what this is, the Bad Habit Royals palette. They have a lot of other eyeshadow palettes that are dupes of like other things, which is really cool, and they're really cheap, so I recommend just checking out that website. The last two palettes I'm gonna mention is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I still love this palette. I just can't wait to use this again, honestly. I just am in love with the shades. I really made a dent on Bellini. Like, that is my favorite shade. Bellini is, like, my favorite shade right now. And I really made a dent in it. I also love Peaches and Cream Nectar. I just love the lighter pinky tone shades. I haven't used much of the darker shades yet. I've used Delectable, and that's a good shade. Summer Yum is also a great shade. Puree, mixing Puree and Summer Yum, like, it makes a gorgeous, like, crease color, like a really nice looking crease color. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just excited. I can't wait to just use this again, since I haven't used it since last year I think. I just can't wait to use it when the springtime comes. In the spring, summer months hit, I will definitely be using this a lot more. And my favorite neutrals palette I wanted to mention, and this is like when I think I had this before I even started YouTube, and this is my original Lorac Pro palette. I just love the formula of this. You just can't beat it. My favorite shade, I love just how the mattes are in a row and the shimmers are in another, so you don't get confused. I just really like that. My favorite shade is like taupe. I've used Mauve, Sable, Espresso. I use Garnet. That's a Garnet Pewter Light Bronze. Gold's okay. Not my. I don't know. It's a different gold. It's more of like a brown gold, I guess. But it's cool. And I love Champagne. Is another good color. I love using Champagne. It would actually probably be good for a halo eye look using this palette. But I thought I would throw it in there. I really made a dent on taupe, though. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but man, I made a dent in that. So I don't know. I really love this palette. This was my first ever high-end palette. As you can tell, it's well-loved from all the mess and, like, fingerprints that it carries. Which is the only thing I don't like about the packaging, but I just like feeling this though. Like, I just like it's just so smooth and sleek, compact. I don't know, I just really like it. Like, just feeling this kind of packaging. I don't know, it's because it's kind of like silk almost. but it really isn't, but it's just a weird texture. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Who knows? But anyway, guys, that basically was like my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I own right now. So I know this was. So I hope you guys liked it. I don't know why. Oh God. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh my gosh. I'm a mess right now, you guys. Anyways, hope your day goes well, and yeah, bye-bye.